Rage Whale. Making waves over movies.
Hi, welcome to Rage Wow. This is episode 24 with Kev, James, and Drew once again. I'd press a little applause or something, but it fucks up James's thing. So yeah, thank you for joining us again. Huh?
All working for me.
Good. Well, I didn't press the
No, he
button.
didn't press it. He said he would, but it would mess you up.
Are you going to open your can for the old ASMR?
Oh, I was going to say something else first, but
I
all
thought
right,
it was
go on then.
Can't spill it all over your phone this time.
The Iron Brew Beast again from Sandstone, Westminster Park. Oh yeah, I didn't shake it. Oh, that did sound good that time.
I've
that
got
was
some
the
for you as well,
nicest-
because I have some of my favourite snacks ever.
Mate,
Should we
I
hear
got
if
a
this
semi. That
works?
was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Ooh, good pour.
Oh, mate, you're rocking the sounds.
Got a bit frothy now.
If anyone ever wants to get me a present and they venture to the States, the best chocolate bar ever.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, but these are Butterfinger bites. So I got a whole bag of them. Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
What the heck is a Butterfinger bite?
Never heard of them.
Have you never?
No.
No.
You're missing out big time. Imagine a crunchy with peanut butter in it as well.
That sounds like an amazing sweet that you've just ruined.
Do you not like peanut butter?
I love a crunchy. I don't like
But
peanut
do you love
butter.
a Reese's Pieces?
No, it's sick.
I love Reese's Pieces.
Imagine Reese's Pieces and Crunchy had a baby.
Had a baby.
That's what they taste like.
That's what you always said. There's a lot of chocolate babies going on.
Butterfingers.
Sounds like it could be a weapon.
Oops,
Sounds-
Butterfingers.
Butterfingers. Oh dear, Butterfingers.
Butterfingers over here.
Butterfingers.
Oh,
Butterfingers. But they're
Well,
amazing.
don't-
You should try them. Maybe not Kev because you're a Western. They're so sweet, but they're amazing.
Try what? Your Butterfingers or the Butterfingers?
9.8 ounces of Butterfingers, actually.
You just stick your fingers in a tub of margarine and go at it. Anyway, the teaser for next. I know we've only just started, but to tease the following episode that we're going to have next week is we're going to have a gentleman called Max King. We mentioned him a few episodes ago. He's a horror guy. I don't know what you say. He's a guy that does horror.
Fan.
I should have.
He's a horror fan.
Worked out what you would call him. He does YouTube videos, like quite intricate ones, going into detail about certain films or genres and aspects like that. So we're going to have him join us as a special guest, and we're going to ask him some questions. He's going to ask us some questions.
Maybe make a list of our top maybe popular and also obscure horror movies. So I went down the path of, I used to work with someone that liked horror movies, so I went on a mission to try and shock her. So I found these, to name a few, Poughkeepsie tapes.
Yeah.
August Underground.
Yeah.
What was Possum?
Oh yeah.
And
that was slow and boring, man. Possum.
It was, but I'm thinking of obscure. Have you seen August Underground?
No.
So unnecessary. And
But
the most unnecessary film of all time, which we can all agree, a Serbian film.
Yes.
Whoa.
There's so many classics.
It's not even a horror film. It's just a gore fest.
As well, like there's lots of classic horrors that.
Yeah, you look at the other classic horrors, Nosferatu.
I mean, no, I was thinking more along the Video Nasty style, like I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh
things
no,
like
I
that.
don't like that. I don't like that film.
The Orphanage.
I'm so past the mark. What about Cannibal
The
Holocaust?
Orphanage.
Yeah. Drew?
Drew, do you know the guy? You know when Cannibal Holocaust got
The
screened in
Orphanage.
France, the director got arrested after the screening.
Oh yeah, because you said it was a bit too realistic. The murders.
Yeah, they thought he'd actually. They did kill a turtle though.
Yeah, this is when he went into great graphic detail about bamboo shoots going up people's anuses.
Yeah. So and there was other things like Green Inferno, which they remade.
Oh yeah. Wasn't that? Oh no, I'm thinking of Soylent Green.
Green Inferno was when a bunch of hippies go and attach themselves to trees in the jungle, and a bunch of cannibals get into them. But either way, we'll bring this up next week.
Hostel.
Yeah.
Hostel, yeah. Hostel's a classic.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people get really affected by that film.
Cabin
It's
Fever.
so possibly
I don't think it
true.
was that. I don't think it was that bad. I thought
Human
it was just,
Centipede 2, that's a shocker.
but yeah, some of the like Last House on the Left, things like that.
Yeah, that's
some of these
that's
classic
grimy
ones
as well, and especially the remake is still just as grimy.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably talk about horror very
The
specifically.
Hills
on an
Have
episode
Eyes, man.
Because
We'll make a
that was
note. I
actually
think we should make a
decent.
note of the ones
The
we
Hills
think are
Have
probably the
Eyes.
most under watched and depraved versus the ones that are very mainstream but also still quite shocking.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
we
mean,
could have 10 best deaths as well. That'd be cool.
The original Texas
that's
Chainsaw
a good
Massacre.
idea. Best deaths, because you're going to be in Final Destination and Saw territory for that sort of stuff. The really elaborate ones.
Well, you go
that
real
are
with
not,
Resident Evil with the lasers.
that are not scary but just funny because
Yeah,
they're
you
so
could have 10 best deaths,
simply
10
weird.
stupid deaths, 10 ridiculous ways to die.
Going
in a
back
movie.
with Itchy the Killer, some crazy deaths in that.
We can have questions like the
But
best
smells.
final girl. That's a common one as well. Or the best villain, like the best murderer guy, as in not like Dave
Terrifier.
does some stuff in Hills of Eyes,
Terrifier wins hands down.
but like proper.
As far as
proper
modern
people.
films go with gore, there's nothing that's got a patch that I've seen on Terrifier because it's all practical effects. So it is like legit. They're
Yeah,
doing
it
that
feels
stuff.
brutal, man. It feels brutal.
The new one's out soon.
You could
Have
get
you seen the
aliens in there,
trailer?
though, mate. You could get aliens in there, like
Sci-fi horror, yeah.
Muppets
There's
Christmas
like
Carol.
this and shit like that.
because wait, there's a genre. There's an actual name for the genre of aliens. I can't remember what it's called.
It'll be sci-fi horror.
No. It's called like haunted. It's like haunted house or something. It's like the idea that there's like 17 characters. You know that they're going to all get taken out one by one.
Yep.
And there's a special name for that kind of genre.
Is it
and that's
called
what-
the patient list on Harold Shipman's watch?
Oh,
Anyway, let's try. That's next week. So I was going to say as well, actually.
actually, I was
even
going
though
to
I
say
just said-
Schindler's List, real quick. Not to do with
Why?
horrors, but black and white. You said it's a black and white film, but it's
With a bit of
not.
red.
There you go. The girl's dress is red.
One red jacket. I thought it was a red coat.
It's a little red jacket.
Is it
Yeah.
not yellow?
No.
No, you're thinking of It.
Yeah.
That's Georgie.
Anyway,
It's red.
let's move on from the horrible things back
Good
to like
shouting.
nice things. Did you see today? Was it today? Yesterday?
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a little reminder to say, check out our social media handles and follow us on Instagram and TikTok if you're not already. If you enjoy this podcast, why not share it with friends? And better yet, rate the show. Thanks for your time. Now, let's get back to the mayhem.
I saw a video on social media of Tom Cruise getting out of a car, going into Victoria Beckham's 50th birthday. What the fuck?
Gosh, she's 50. Wow.
Yeah, but a photographer fell over and Tom Cruise goes away from his stoic entrance and polite entrance to pick this photographer up and go, "You all right? You okay?"
Like you
Cool.
say, ninja
And
kicked
walked
him.
off. But
Wow.
that was so polite. I mean, he's got cameras on him, so it's kind of like you can't not be polite, but not everyone would have done that.
Do you know where I thought you were going with that? I thought you were going to
just
say.
walk past.
I thought they were all going to be scenes in Dead Reckoning Part 2.
What? No.
When you said-
He's going to a party and a photographer fell backwards and
Can
fell
you
his arm.
remember?
And
Here's
Tom
on
Cruise-
for you then. Can you remember that program called Balls of Steel? And this is like one of them cultural icon
Genius.
moments. Balls
that
of
Jimmy
Steel,
Carr?
where Daisy Dares was meant to. She used to go around interviewing people with like a water gun as a mic, and she
Yeah.
bottled out at doing it with Tom Cruise, and she was like, I'm not doing it. So the producer or whatever did it, and can you remember he gave him a proper earful when he turned around, was like, no, you come here. I'm talking to you. That's rude.
Yes, I saw
And
that.
like, it
Yeah.
all went really awkward. He's like, no, you don't do that to people. And the bloke just stood there like, because every other round, like she'd go to a football stadium, right? And she pretend she's an interviewer, say her mic's not working. And she's like, oh, can I have like the stadium mic? And he's like, oh, it's like for the speakers, I can't really give you it. She's like, look, I'm just doing an interview. And then she'd be like, I've heard all the players have tiny penises. And he'd be like, give me the fucking mic back and all this stuff. But they used to have like,
But
do you not
Dennis
remember the programme? They
Dennis
had
Pennis
like
did that.
Pritchard and Pancho on there doing stupid stunts. They had the
Yeah.
irritating devil.
They had to ask someone out who has a girlfriend. No,
The,
they had
the
to ask
best
out.
one was
Do
the
you remember him?
irritating devil. Yeah, Dennis Pennis, brilliant. But the irritating devil, annoying devil, there was one scene where it would be really dark at night and he'd go into a car park and paint disabled spaces on every single space in the entire car park. And then he'd film people going around the entire car park. Or he'd like park in a double yellow line. And the bloke would go around, the traffic wardens look at his license plate, it would just say, fuck you. It was such a ridiculous show.
Brilliant, brilliant. I
And
think Kevin had a question. Did you have a question?
I was those 2 points I'm going to bring up before, like we mentioned, is I posted something on. It's not meant to be a plug, but at Kev's Film Thoughts, which you can find on
yes,
TikTok and Instagram.
I've heard of that.
I get an average of like maybe 300 to like a few of them gone up to like 6,000 views. I got a couple where there were like 16,000, which was I shouldn't be excited at. I'm too old to be excited about boring things like that. But the other day, as in a couple of days ago, posted one on there about 28 days later, and it's on 66,000. Let me just.
It wasn't 28 days later.
66,900 now.
Wasn't it 28 years later or something stupid?
Yeah, 28 years later, the
28
new
years.
cast, which it was obscene. Just people like on there chatting and arguing with each other and taking a piss out of me for not being able to pronounce Ralph Fiennes as Rafe Fiennes very well.
So from going forward, every single one of our episodes is going to be called 28 Years Later, and it will mention Ralph Fiennes, but please don't let that distract you from clicking on it. We're just using clickbait.
Oh, wait, talking of, have you found Emmanuel Bonamy?
No one's found Emmanuel Bonamy. We can confirm that.
Is he going to star in 28 Years Later?
If you missed the last episode, Emmanuel Bonamy is a famous actor from Les Arachnophobes, and he's done a lot of films. Emmanuel Bonamy?
Bonamy,
yeah.
Bald guy.
28 years.
None of us can find his age. He's between 30 and 50, apparently. And there's an ongoing thing. If you can find proof and send us a link that you haven't made yourself, like a spreadsheet, that shows his face, his age, his last whereabouts, not his last whereabouts, a bit creepy, just his age, we will send you now 2 bottles of Henry Westons and 2 signed photos of Drew Horner.
I've just Googled what Emmanuel means. Emmanuel means God is with us. So his full name is God is with us, good friend. That's his name. Emmanuel.
He's MI5, isn't he?
And that's his biography. That'll be his biography.
Do you reckon he's Jesus? Do you reckon we've just worked out who Jesus is?
Jesus ain't bald. What are you on about? He's the Antichrist.
I don't know. People that grow a really thick beard younger go bald quicker. That's a thing. And he had a solid beard.
Oh yeah, we don't know him past the age of 20, however old he was when he got crucified.
Yeah, there's always been one thing I thought weird about Jesus. Like, he was quite a famous guy, right?
Well, only now.
No, but back then, he was quite famous. They knew him enough to crucify him. He was the Son of God.
He was kind of popular.
News travels, right? Son of God. News travels. Notice how his furniture didn't go up in value. Was he that good a carpenter?
Good point. Who's got an original
look,
Jesus?
I've got a coffee table. Look, I've got a nest of tables here that the Son of God made. It would be up there, wouldn't it? Imagine that on Antiques Roadshow.
Got an original Jesus in my house.
Yeah, I've got a sideboard made by Jesus over there.
I just Googled Jesus. He was 33 years old when he died, which means he was older than Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee and Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix.
Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix and Amy Winehouse and Janis Joplin and so on and so forth.
Cause of death, crucifixion. I think we knew that one.
Bit original.
He was known for major prophet in Islam and
drew not for his carpentry. So
apparently not.
So for me, it says he had a lack of commitment.
Yeah,
that's a great segue into Amy Winehouse.
I can't believe.
Yeah.
Oh, someone else says he was 33 to 40 years old at the time of death. So maybe that's after he got resurrected, or
wait, no. What did you say his age was?
It was 33, and then another source says he was 33 to 40 years old.
Sounds a bit like Emmanuel Bonamy to me.
There's the connection. No one has a specific date. It's a range.
The Christ is out there. He is French.
Timeless.
His name's Emmanuel Bonamy.
Right. So this episode that we're already very fully much into, we've got a few questions from my friend Jojo, and we've got a couple of reviews of a couple of films. So, what do you want first? Do you want a quick chat about a film, or a question then a film?
Are
Depends
you
what
asking
film's
the
it.
audience or?
What did you say? Can we ask the audience?
I just
You're
thought
aware
You
that
might be
there's a
waiting a
lie.
long time.
you look like you were asking the audience. I was like, they
I'm
can't
asking
answer
you two,
back.
you muppets.
Fair,
Oh,
fair.
what does Jojo have to say for herself?
What does
Okay,
a
so
man
I've
know?
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 questions, but they're all quite quick and easy ones. They're not long-winded ones. So 1 to 5, pick a number.
1.
It's so
Okay.
boring.
So
Okay.
nowadays So this is from Jojo. Question from the audience. Drew's done a little bonus little,
Did
which
you
you'll
download
hear,
that? Did you
which
download
you
it?
will hear now.
Questions from you guys.
That was Drew's new little bit. So here it is nowadays, Drew, I will slot it in later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoa.
I don't think you
And
should be
that's the
saying
end of
that.
Kevin's relationship.
All the way from Chester.
That's your new ringtone, Drew.
Okay, so questions from the audience. Nowadays, there are so many movies and TV shows every week, every month. How do you select the movies you are watching, and how do you keep up with the new stuff? She actually pluralized stuffs. So how do you keep up, or do you keep up, or do you
No,
even bother?
absolutely not. Like,
And
I'll
you know,
watch a few
James
new
is terrible
things,
at
but I
keeping up.
tend to like rehash and watch old stuff and then catch up with the new stuff well after people have said it's good or bad. I'm very hesitant to jump on things as soon as they come out. I'll normally wait for people to say they're really good. Like
unless
Baby
it's Baby
Reindeer was different
Reindeer.
though. Baby Reindeer was different. I hadn't heard anything about it. I saw it pop up and was like, looks intriguing. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was pretty good.
And sometimes you give things 5-10 minutes and go, nah. But that gripped you, obviously.
I think just the title gripped me. Just
Yeah.
the title, Baby Reindeer, was so obscure.
What
I
the
was
fuck
like,
does that mean?
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good.
What were we talking
And
about?
2 episodes ago, we recommend it highly and we chat about it at the end of
Yeah.
episode 22.
We were talking about films that have like animals in the title, and there's like an intrigue to it, or there's an obscurity, especially as you want to find out why the film is called that.
But what's the answer to the question, Drew?
That is
I
the
don't-
answer.
I just
That's
think
No,
you
no,
can't
how do
keep
you-
up. No one
how
keeps
do
up.
you
film or not film.
How do you select and keep up with the new stuff?
I basically wait for Kev to give us the instructions. No, I'm kind of a bit like James, really. Like, I'll go back to. I've got a whole catalog of films that I always return back to because I love
Yeah.
them, and they're guaranteed to be great scripts and great films because I've seen them a multitude of times. But with new films, it's either based on stuff that we talk about here, or it is like a trailer or something will grab my attention. I'll be like, I really want to see that. For example, Monkey Man, which I haven't really gone into detail or we haven't really mentioned at all, but the trailer and the story behind Dev Patel and Jordan Peele was so intriguing that I saw Monkey Man and I fully enjoyed it.
That's a good point. When you hear backstories or information online about how
Yeah.
it got made or the purpose of
Do
it,
you know the story
that
behind
intrigues
that?
you more than a trailer.
Yeah, do you know the story behind that? Just real quick.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
I'm obviously going on a famous tangent, taking a left at this conversation, but
Yeah.
so
It was already made, wasn't it?
yeah, well, yeah, Dev Patel, and then like I think they were going to give it into Netflix, but something to do with the kind of the political kind of elements of the film they didn't want to kind of promote through Netflix, so they kind of pulled out.
Well, Jordan Peele had nothing to do with it until he saw a showing of it, and he
Well, yeah,
was
no,
like, "I want to do
well,
more
he-
with this."
Yeah,
They
he
changed
saw
it.
it. Well, it's a bit more exciting than that, actually. Well, he saw it like 4 times, and then he paid for it to be taken away from Netflix, which was incredible. And then he
So
got
I'll say
paid
for me, it's very rare that I'll see something coming out and be like, I have to see that, sit down, put some time aside to see it now, unless it's a sequel to something I already loved. Like, for example, You is a good example on Netflix. When that next series came out, I was
Oh yeah,
on
the
that
TV
day, like I
series.
need to watch it. But otherwise, I'm happy to just wait. I'm more into sort of
Books.
absorbing the old stuff at the moment. Like I go through phases. Like at the moment, I was saying I'm on like a horror phase, so I'm watching all these old like random horrors and some new horrors as well, but mostly old ones. And I go through like phases. I might go into a comedy phase where I watch a lot of like sitcoms, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or
Amazing.
I don't know, New Girl, The Office, you know,
Classic.
Friends, whatever.
Going back to Monkey Man real quick, the only reason I was excited to do that was because I wanted to do a double cinema, because you guys have always talked about doing 2 films in one day. So I can't even remember what the first film was now, but
The First Omen.
yeah, that was it. Yeah, you got good memory. Yeah, so it was the first Omen and then Monkey Man, and they're
Drew
obviously
froze.
they're very different. So yeah,
Cool.
Didn't
Sorry,
hear
Drew.
anything you just said. Then you said different,
You
and yeah,
froze,
see,
but I know it's fine. It's fine.
it's all fine
But
in
yeah,
the
you
wash,
saw
guys.
those
It's
2
all fine.
films. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's so much stuff out there now. It's almost like a
It's
kid walking into a toy shop, and there's no way you can have all the toys. You just have to pick the one that
it's
is the most
stressful.
shiny and exciting to you.
And if you live with someone else as well, you got to take into consideration their thoughts as well. So like Sadie's not a big fan of rewatching things. Like we it's very I said to her, let's watch all the Tarantinos, and she was like up for it. And she said she was actually quite interested in it. But every time I went, right, should we watch Reservoir Dogs? She's like, there's a new film come out. And I'm like, right, okay, so she's more interested in new stuff, so we'll watch new stuff together. And I did all the old stuff on my own.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because when we go to bed, she would rather watch Schitt's Creek for the 500th time
Thing is, though,
or
going to
Friday
sleep
Night
stuff is
Dinner.
different 'cause you don't want to pay attention, do you? So it's
Yeah,
like
we put on Derry
I get
Girls
that.
the other night, and Derry Girls is brilliant.
So
And we
good.
almost got to the end of the first series just on one night. And I turned around, just laughed. I was like, I forgot how funny this was. And she
Do you
just
know what,
went
Kev? I'm going to send
snoring.
you two both a present that someone got me once, and it was one of the best presents. And it was a big A1 poster, and it was top 100 movies of all time. And every one of them had a scratch off thing, like a scratch card.
Oh, that's cool.
So when you watch them, you scratch them off. So it
That's
gives you
cool.
like a reason to watch them and scratch them off.
I
It's
mean,
really cool.
without sounding big headed,
It's
I'm
like bingo.
pretty sure I could scratch a lot of them off
You'd
day
be
one.
surprised because I thought that, and there's some really random ones on
Scratch
there.
them right, yo.
Yeah, I scratched the shit out of that one, boy.
Feel
All
sorry
right,
for your girlfriends.
right. That's question one answered. Let's go to a film. Let's go to James first. James has a film he watched very recently.
Well, it's
You
not a
want
new
to take
film.
that?
It's actually a film that's I don't know how old it is. 10 years maybe.
I'll bring up IMDb while you chat, and I'll add some facts or questions to you.
Yeah, like so I'm going through a horror.
2016. 2016.
So nearly
10.
10 years. Dominic Monaghan, is that his name?
Did you say the name of the film?
No. I'm saying the actor's name first.
Yeah.
We're
The
building up
female
to the
lead
film.
in it, which is quite funny for any young listeners. Sam from Sam and Cat, the popular Nickelodeon show with Ariana Grande. This is probably the only film I've ever seen her in where she's not a child actor, which is a random thing. But you'll know Sam and Cat if you're anyone under the age of like whatever or have kids. It's a very popular show where Ariana Grande came from. With she was Cat, this other girl was Sam, and we all know what happened in Nickelodeon.
Is this
Um,
Senia Solo?
I don't know what her name is. She's the
Her.
no,
Oh,
don't know
she's
who
in a
that is.
program about pedophiles.
No, it's
Jeanette McCurdy.
yes, Jeanette McCurdy. Apart from she was a child actor on Nickelodeon. This is the only film, bearing in mind how many films I've ever seen
I've
her in.
seen
I might be wrong.
iCarly.
iCarly, that was another one. Yeah, she was even younger in that. A very popular documentary called Quiet on Set came out recently about that whole thing.
Still haven't said the name of the film.
Where they also wake up, but this film is called Pet.
Maybe you've got to
She's a
scratch
bit.
it off to get the
There's
name of the
basically
film.
four actors in the entire film. Her, Dominic Monaghan, who is in Lost and one of the hobbits in Lord of the Rings.
Yes. I forget.
Is Lost with
The main
Emmanuel
girl,
Economy?
the main girl, I do not know what she's ever been in before. Never seen her anything since, I don't think. And it also has a comedy actor, black guy with an afro, who is a lot of the time kind of like a joke part. He's
Quite a big guy.
big guy.
Yeah, Devon McDonald.
Yeah, if you show a picture of him, people will know exactly who he is. I
I mean,
can't think what he's been on.
this is his main picture on IMDb.
Yeah,
That's
he's like such a funny actor. I don't know
what
if
I
you
do.
can
That is
think of
awesome.
another thing he's been on that people might know.
He's been in Walk of
I think there's a
Shame,
picture of him with his agent.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Drill Bit
That's
Taylor,
it. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He's the bartender
The
or
5 Year
whatever, the guy at reception.
Engagement,
But can you find a picture of the main girl in Pet? Because there's only one other girl in it.
Sonia Solo.
That's her. What's she been in?
She has been in Black Swan, Lost Girl, Finish the Fight.
You
I
get
don't
a
know.
picture of her, sorry, because that was a
Actually,
weird
what?
cloud you just put up there.
She's not been in much, to be honest.
Can we get a picture of her face?
It's Black Swan's the only one.
Wow, that's that picture. Well, either way, basically, it's about, and this is spoilers, but the film is old AF. The film starts, and he's on a bus, and he notices her, and sort of, gets the eye. Ends up sort of doing a bit of googling, Facebooking, finds out where she works. Sort of goes to her little restaurant where she works, starts sparking up conversation, and she gets a bit creeped out by the whole thing. Then he ends up going to he's sending her some flowers to her work. Cuts to her going to a bar where her ex-boyfriend obviously works, sorry. And she's like, oh, you need to stop doing this. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And this Dominic Monaghan's character's sat in there. And she gets upset, walks off. He's like, are you okay? She's like, do I know you? And he's like, yeah, I was at the restaurant the other day. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, oh, we went to school together, all this. He ends up grabbing her. Her boyfriend punches him, blah, blah, blah. He works at like a veterinary service, like a dog sanctuary. And the dude, the comedy actor we just mentioned, is the security guard there.
Yeah.
He ends up basically kidnapping her in this like tunnel that's under the dog sanctuary with this injection, and puts her in this cage, hence the whole pet thing.
Yeah.
So for the whole film, you're like, or for half the film, you're like, oh, he's like this psycho stalker, and she's playing it out like he's a psycho. And then the whole film twists, and it turns out that the reason he's kidnapped her is to save her. And you're like, he keeps saying, save her, save her. And then it cuts back to a scene where he sees her mace a homeless guy because he's following her, and she turns around and the homeless guy happens to walk past her and she maces him.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the homeless guy getting murdered, and you think it's Dominic Monaghan's character, but it turns out it's her, and it cuts to her setting this guy on fire, and then Dominic Monaghan following her and her murdering multiple people, and it turns out that she's a serial killer, and he's trapped her in his cage to try and like twist her about, and a lot of other things happen and crazy stuff, but the whole thing is absolutely insane.
I really wish I didn't know the twist.
Oh, I haven't given you the mega twist yet.
Don't.
So it's got multiple twists.
Maybe don't then.
That's only part of the film.
That sounds better than a man just kidnapping a woman and that's it. Some torture and stuff. It sounds a bit.
Yeah, it's not. It seems very basic. Like, oh, when you get 20 minutes in, you're like, this is pretty. Like, where's this going to go? And then it turns out that she's the psychopath, and
I
it's
think
like, and then it twists again. It's very, very clever, and it's quite gruesome, and has some like
like horror films. Like a lot of horror films are Route One and very.
Well, it has a lot of implied violence, but I've never seen a horror psychological that has this plot line, because you really don't see the things coming. And with only 4 actors in the whole film, basically.
No, it sounds interesting. Actually, that sounds like something I would be interested in.
It's on Amazon Prime. It might be on one of the subscription things. I don't know, because I have a few subscriptions to like Shudder and that, so it might be on one of them. But
cool.
It looks like it's in kind of vein.
Hard Candy.
Is that Hard Candy?
That's great.
That's with Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Should we go to a question, then a review? Because we're already half an hour in. How did that happen?
But yeah, I'd
Surprise,
recommend
guys.
Pet. I'm pretty sure it's just on Amazon Prime for free. It's very good.
That sounds good, actually. All right. Question 2, 3, 4, or 5?
You can
Pick a
pick
number.
two.
3. How many movies do you usually watch per week?
I'll let you guys go first on this one.
Ooh.
I don't know. I would say I try to watch 1, 2 if there's really good stuff coming out at the cinema, and at home. To be honest, we probably watch more series than films in the house, but maybe 1. So I'll probably watch on average 3 a week. 1 to 2 cinemas and 1 to 2 in the house, but mainly series.
I'd kind of agree with you, Kev. I'd if there's enough decent stuff at the cinema, I'd probably try to do 1 to 2. But I'm a bit of a sad bastard with my catalogue of films. I normally watch a film or 2 from my catalogue of movies, like every other day.
Wow. So what, you're on like 5 plus a week?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
James?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine differs from anything from 1, where I might just pick a random one, but I like to when I'm tired
That's
to
because I've
put
got no
on.
job. Sorry.
Oh, I
That's
do
because I'm
work.
unemployed right now. So
That's a
yeah.
fact.
Everyone else works. So
Yeah, I can watch anything from 0 to 1 actually. Like last week, I didn't watch any because I've been watching series, or I've been in a bit of like a sort of like going to bed late, watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that sort of thing, some easy watching. But generally speaking, I say anything from 1 to 5. And the reason why it's so vast is because obviously every other week I have Reef over, who's my little 5-year-old boy, and he loves movies. Like since
Slash
he's
8-year-old.
been, huh?
Slash 8-year-old.
Slash 48-year-old. Ever since he's been, I'd say 1.5, he's been able to sit through and watch an entire movie.
that's
And it
incredible.
started with
mad.
like it started with like your Angry Birds and like all the things like that, and now he's like sort of flipped, and now he's into Godzilla, King Kong.
Is he interested in seeing the new Despicable Me 4 film?
Yeah, he wants to see that. Yeah,
I might take my dad to see that. My dad loves the Pixar movies.
yeah, he loves everything from like Pixar and Disney, but then he also loves like Marvel, Spider-Man, Godzilla, King Kong. Like he loves all that stuff,
You
but
need to take him
he'll
to
sit and watch an entire movie, which is crazy.
I mentioned it before, but you need to take him to see the new If film with Ryan Reynolds when it comes out.
So he said it then. Yeah, maybe, but he might not be interested. I mean, we went to the last we went to Godzilla versus King Kong, and because of the volume of trailers, you have to be there before. And I've said it before, they need to give you two
Before it
times at a
starts.
cinema: a start time and a get there time. Because for a 5-year-old to sit there for half an hour before a 2-hour film is quite a lot.
Yeah.
Although I probably shouldn't take a 5-year-old to see a film like that, but he loved it. But yeah, he'll sit and watch films, and I'll sit and watch a movie with him, like a couple of movies a weekend.
And it's strange as well. This question, if you asked any of us, especially me, maybe 10 years ago, I would have answered that with like 5 plus films easy. What, probably 1, or maybe the weekend, maybe like 2 or 3 at the weekend,
The
1
reason
every other
why
night.
the films are slower for me now is because compared to 10 years ago, the volume of series content is better,
That was
Yeah.
the point I was
and you didn't
literally
have to
in my
wait
next
a
sentence
week
about to
to
make.
like
Yeah.
watch it. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched one episode, now I have to wait a week. Brilliant.
TV was like average and just like
But a
basic
video you
stuff.
put in, you can watch the whole thing.
Yeah, nowadays you can binge it and there's cool shit that's engaging, you know?
But also,
Yeah.
guys, you've got big Hollywood names in a lot of TV series that never used to happen either. You just have unknowners just in TV stuff, and then
Yeah.
you've got high rollers.
Like every
High
time I turn
rollers.
Netflix on, there seems to be something different in their top 10. Like every day, it's crazy.
And you got to love like a Netflix documentary on like murder and shit like that. There's some great stuff.
Yeah, there's just
Sometimes-
the BBC, by the way. BBC iPlayer has a lot of good like crime documentaries on it. It's a really
a lot
underrated
of
app.
them. Yeah, BBC.
And
The only thing
ITV
the only thing
and
I
Channel
find
4, actually, they're all
sometimes
very good apps.
The other thing I find sometimes is because there's so much choice, it takes you almost the equivalent to the duration of an actual feature film to find something, because we're looking through so much stuff that we can't even make up our minds. We're like, we might go on that. We'll watch a trailer for this. We'll go back to that. Let's try that genre. Let's see this. Oh, that's a new thing. Oh, this is all the new things. This is the
This
things
is why it's so
recommended
hard to
for us.
commit to watching a film now.
Yeah,
Because you find
exactly.
a film and you're like, oh, it's like 2.5 hours. You're like, oh, it's a long time. By the time you finish work, got home, blah blah blah, it's like 7, 8, 9 o'clock, whatever. And you're like, oh, do I want to watch a whole film? 'Cause firstly, me, if I want to watch a film, I want to watch it in a oneer. I don't
Yeah,
want to watch it in bits.
I hate. Yeah.
And a lot of films now are like pushing the 2 hour, 2.5 hour mark.
That's why TV series. I see why more people watch TV series before
We
bed.
can
In a
stop
sense
them
that,
3 in. Like
yeah, if it's
Baby
20
Reindeer,
minutes,
I watched 4 on the first night and then stopped
yeah.
it.
Well, aren't they like half an hour each or something? Some of those.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine can be anything from 1 to 5, depending on, you know.
Yeah, same. Sometimes, like you say, I could watch no films one week because there's so many good series on. But I do try. I think it was honestly, it was coming out of the pandemic and Elvis that made me get an unlimited card at the cinema, because we got cinema. We got like I've got multiple cinemas right within like a few minutes drive of me, and
Sure.
Sadie got so obsessed with Elvis, she was on a holiday, like because she works self-employed, so she has to take some holiday time. So she went to see Elvis, and she's obsessed with Elvis. And Austin Butler was not her preferred choice. She thought it'd be terrible, so we all went to see it, and she was like not that fussed, and it blew her away so much that she had to go back and see it again on her own to really focus on it. She ended up seeing it 9 times, and I saw it 5 times with her, and I was like, "This is so fucking expensive." So I got an unlimited card, and then I think Top Gun Maverick came out a month later. So
Great movie.
that was the reason why I got an unlimited card, and now I feel it's an injustice if I don't go, because it's the equivalent of paying for 2 films a month.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I have to
if
see one a
if
week to make it
what
worthwhile.
is it, Drew?
for me.
£14 a month?
Yeah, $14.99. Just going back, I thought Kevin was going to say this is so romantic because they've seen it 5 times together. But he's like, this is so fucking expensive.
Well, maybe Drew. Maybe I can get that £14.99 because that's what 2 movies and it's
Mate,
paid
you
for
should.
itself.
By the time you've seen 2 films,
Less than
because
2 movies.
a film now is $7.99, literally, pretty much, unless you get a premiere seat.
That's
And
cheaper
what are
than mine.
nachos? $69.99.
How much are nachos?
Don't buy food. I buy.
Mate, the
I
nachos,
take a
though.
£1 bottle of Iron Brewing and maybe a snack from Tesco.
Do you know what we should do next time we go to OG in Andover? Take a full
You
blown
make some
Domino's
pasta.
in there.
Full on Domino's. What's your go-to pizza?
Either a meteor or a pepperoni passion.
Oh, what about Texas barbecue chicken, man?
I
that
like
must
that
be
as well.
my favourite.
Yeah, I like that too. I
Yeah.
like going thin base sometimes.
Oh yeah, mate, it's got to be
Crispy,
thin
thin and crispy.
Domino's Pizza, if you want to sponsor this episode.
Do you reckon they'd let you in the cinema with a Domino's pizza? They just like let it fly.
Well, if it's your mate and it's
imagine you were
empty,
sponsored by them, though. Imagine you were sponsored by Domino's Pizza. This whole podcast was. They're like, guys, we have to watch films. We have to have
Kev,
the pizza.
remember the Domino's pizza flag that we may or may not have taken and put in your back garden?
yeah, kind of do.
True, there was like a 10-foot Domino's flag out the front of Domino's back in the day that we just decided we wanted one day.
Not anymore.
I didn't go to the next
Did we
day.
make it into a volleyball net in your garden?
I remember waking up
Because it
one
was
morning
massive.
with a hangover, looking out my bedroom
One
window,
morning.
and in my garden there was furniture. As in, there was a
Did you
three-piece.
wake up at home base?
There was a 3-piece sofa, an armchair, and a dining table in my back garden. You couldn't leave it. You couldn't get in. I don't remember where was that from? Was that from Gareth's house?
For legal reasons, we're not going to say anything on that one.
There was loads of or was it from a skip? Was it from a skip you picked up and just put in the garden?
Again, we're just going to keep that one on the down low. I think it's probably best we don't say anything.
I've got a photo from somewhere.
That goes over the point where we were digging a moat around your house.
Yeah,
Please
I've
don't
got a
mention
photo somewhere. I literally woke up, looked out the bedroom window, and there was a sofa. You know how big my garden is. Was quite small. there was a sofa, there was a couple of sofas and dining table and shit. I couldn't open my door, and I'd have to climb over shit to get.
Were you trying to reenact? Was there a lamp as well? Were you trying to reenact the introduction of Frank?
Drew, I don't know if you know, there was a time where Kev came out of his front door very early in the morning, and we were digging a moat.
Yeah, I remember.
was digging them out. You weren't.
Because I
I
decided that the Black Knight was coming, and we need to keep him at bay. And it was the only way.
Right, let's
I
do
thought
a
you were
quick.
going to say he came through the door and you hit him with one of those model things again.
Let's do a quick 5-minute review. The next one is Back to Black. Amy
I'm not
Winehouse.
seeing it, so I'll let you two go.
Time to discuss what we watched this week in Cinema Selection.
Well, that makes
And-
sense. Makes sense.
Drew, you
That's
messaged
what
me
I
saying
did.
that you enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, man.
I did too.
Well, I loved what you said in your thing, mate. To do another cheeky little plug to Kev Film Thoughts. Yes, Mariana Bella, is that her name? That plays her.
It is Marissa Abella.
Ooh, close. Sorry, I
Very
butchered the
close.
name. That's hard to say after a few beers. Anyway, she doesn't look exactly like her, but what I love is she's captured Amy's kind of essence.
Yeah, she's got the
Cool, dude.
mannerisms, the attitudes.
Yeah.
She embodies
like her
her.
persona, it feels like her persona. And the more the film starts to go on, and the more you get invested in her character, and the more kind of like behind the scenes in a way, like being with family, and that's the kind of stuff I really wanted to see in this. Really touching, man. Mate, I so glad I wore a cap. I cried so much through this film because obviously you know the outcome, and you're hoping that time is going to change everything, but it's not. We know the sad
Stranger
outcome.
said that. I didn't get that close to emotion, which is at this age, I'm pretty emotional at a lot of films, and the last one was The Iron Claw had me in a mess. But
Yeah.
this film didn't because it only because it was predictable. Only because I knew what was happening. Nothing was going to shock me. I knew what was happening. In my opinion.
Yeah, there's no twist.
It was emotional.
There isn't one ending. Yeah,
Yeah,
sadly,
it was emotional, but it didn't push me over the edge emotionally on this. But like you said,
I got upset. You know that bit with Nan though. Like, there's loads of things that I didn't know that probably weren't in the documentary though. You know,
that was touching. Yeah, but the thing is that the very ending, like the point you just made, that was the biggest thing for me. Like when she turned it around and she got a new place, I was like, oh shit. In my head, I went, oh, this is going to turn out all right. Oh, wait a minute.
That's what I thought.
It's like, I thought they're going to rewrite history. I thought, this is so good. Like, she almost did it. And then some, I don't know if it's true, when that's that prick fucking, what's that, what are they called? The journalist? Not journalist, that's too good of a word. Paparazzi. Said, what do you think of Blake's new wife and their new son or new kid? If you got something to say, and they struggled to have kids, and then that was her downfall. Is that true, or are we just given a trigger for us to realize? But the biggest thing was that Jack O'Connell was also incredible. I don't know if he portrayed the guy accurately because we don't know the guy really. We just know him in the news.
Wait, who's Jack Connell again? Sorry,
Jack O'Connell plays Blake, the boyfriend.
the guy with skins.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The guy with skins.
Jack O'Connell's amazing.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Incredible. But
have you seen him on Eden Lake?
Yeah, I've seen. But the thing is,
another bad horror film.
We always talk about that, man.
but with Jack O'Connell, he's so good, and he's so fucking handsome and charismatic. Yeah,
he's very charismatic,
and stylish and cool as fuck. That I can understand that Amy Winehouse is infatuated with Jack O'Connell, but if you Google Blake, I forgot what he looked like. Google it afterwards.
Heroin addict.
He looked like James a minute ago with his sunglasses on. That's what he looked like. No offense. No, you look beautiful. If Blake could look like James, he would be a good looking man.
So Blake's a poor man's James, basically.
Imagine James emaciated and wearing bad clothing.
Fair enough.
He's giving me fucking evils now.
Brutal. This is brutal.
I'm just trying to tease him. I think I pushed it too far. But
by the way, I got some new toilet paper. By the way,
but what I would say, he's going to bring out my book, isn't he? He's going to bring out my poetry book. Yeah, but I didn't, mate. I didn't cuss you, man. Kevin did. You need to bring out something. You need to like take a shit on Iron Brew or something.
You encouraged him.
What? I didn't. Come on, man.
It's your fault, Drew.
Um,
and
so,
Leslie
well, I
Manville
was
was
gonna
great in it.
but that works though. I was going to say that they created that moment that we needed to understand the magnetism, like you said, of Blake.
And I think in a way, because it's from Amy's perspective,
Yes, yeah,
having a really handsome guy makes us go, "Oh, I get why she liked him now." Because
That's
he's
what I
handsome
mean.
and
Yeah.
charismatic. But in reality, they're both fucking like drug addicts, so they're not seeing reality properly.
I
But
always
also,
throw my 2 cents in on her though, and
sorry. Oh, go on.
from some of the things I've seen about her, what a lovely person. Like even the stupid interview she did where she's talking to some female reporter, regardless of their gender, and she says to some guy, "You're treading on that young woman's foot," and he's like, "She's not young, and I'm not," and she's like, "How rude!" It's like, who
Yeah.
has the bottle to say that?
Yeah. Amy Winehouse was there's a lot
She
of
put
negative
people in their
things about her,
place.
to be honest.
Did you ever see her on Never Mind the
But-
Buzzcocks with Simon Amstel?
But she is a
That was
quality.
hilarious.
She
But
is
can I say
real.
that's why I liked, because like even one of the lines they mentioned in the film where she goes, "I ain't no fucking Spice Girl," and it's like the idea that she had such cojones to say that to like Simon. I can't remember the surname now.
Cal?
Was it Cal?
Yeah.
No, it was Simon something who's running this agency that's a massive agency.
Oh,
for
the Spice Girls guy. Simon, not.
Like Connell
I
or
know
something.
who you mean,
Anyway,
yeah.
but anyway, the confidence she had to kind of pretty much like, we want to see you. It's like, yeah, whatever, like boop, and they're like coming, like she was saying, I'm not making art for the sake of money. One of my favorite bits, actually, Kev, was when she's taking like a bit of a break, a little bit of a hiatus from making the Back to Black album, and she returns back to Ronnie Scott's, and she turns to her dad and she says, "Can you feel Nan here? Like Nan's here." And it was like that bit got me as well. And then you've got the two guys at Ronnie Scott's and they're playing the guitar, but they're not like, they're just playing different kind of like jazz instruments. And she says, "Is that finished?"
And she goes, "Oh, you keep going."
It's intimidating.
She goes, "It's hard to keep going with Amy Winehouse watching."
Amy Winehouse in the room. But then what I loved was they said, "Come up on stage," and there she is, just performing her work for no audience. It's just the beauty of art and just sharing her words.
I think that's what's important about the film, is because very rarely do you see how big Amy is in this film. You don't see her as a big performing artist. It's all home life. It's all real person.
It's very indie. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
A lot of things are from the performer, the amazing, the most famous person in the world, because she's hit #1 in America. But this is not about that. It's all about her. So when you
do you not think it's mad though that if she was
intimacy,
but when you hear the
generation, whereas the generation then with the Spice Girls and that was all about the agents got the money and the talent were like, you do what we say. Whereas nowadays it's flipped. It's all about the talent because of social media and that.
But also, Amy Winehouse,
the agents are nothing.
Yeah, today you can run your own shit without agents once you've got a stepping stone.
Oh yeah, have you heard of Dax?
No, let me finish my point. Wait a sec.
Go on.
The thing Amy was saying is that she didn't, like you said, Drew, she didn't care about the money, so no one had any hold over her. So the agents probably were still the bosses back then, and she just went, "I don't care, I'm not doing it for the money, I'm doing my record, I'm putting it out, if you make me do this, I'll tell you to fuck off."
Yeah.
So they had to bend to her rules because she wasn't a normal person. She wasn't going to bend to them. So it was either have her or don't have her. And she didn't care what they chose. I thought that was quite important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Drew.
No, it's all good. No, but yeah, like we were saying, I like the intimacy of the film and the way it was done. Like, you know, there's a bit where she's at home and she listens to music that she loves, so we get a sense of all the things that inspired her, and then she starts playing the guitar and she's just coming up with this absolute magic. And there was an interview with, I think it was a Mark Ronson. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
There's an interview.
The
yeah,
Zootons
crazy. But it was like a masterclass thing that I saw the other day, and Mark Ronson is talking about when he wrote the track for Back to Black, and she came in and he said, "What do you think?" She was like, "I like that." and he thought it was just like an off the cuff, like I like it, but he's like, that's just her being polite. She literally took a notepad and pen, went into the back room, and 1 hour later she wrote the song that we all
Didn't
know and
Mark
love.
Ronson help with the Valerie remix as well?
Yeah, he did
I
all
think
of
he
them.
did the whole album.
He
that
did,
stuff.
cool.
The whole album.
Mark
Because once
Ronson's
she
a
heard
big
it,
factor, and he was
when they
mentioned
worked
twice
together,
in passing in the film. That was a bit of a
yeah,
weird one. Apparently,
Isn't his sister quite famous as well?
apparently there was an actor playing him in the film that got written out of the final cut. So
Wow.
it's strange. But the thing I found interesting about, I would have assumed you'd be the same from London, Drew. But I know you're south of the river. I was north of the river. But
I love it though.
every scene, I've been there. I've been in
Yeah,
every
me
place in
too.
that film.
Me too.
The Good Mixer.
Apart from the pub.
Good Mixer is the pub where she meets Jack O'Connell.
Brilliant.
And I've played on that pool table. I've drunk in that pub
Mate.
many, not once or twice, many times. Me, JD, and Saeed used to go there all the time because it's across the road from like the Electric Ballroom and stuff like that. And it's one of the only places in Camden that is open mega late and is cheap. It's like a cheap, shitty dive bar. But it's great. I've been in that pub a million times. But they didn't actually show the pub that Amy Winehouse is famous for. There's like the hot. Is it the Hawley Arms just under the bridge by the Lock Canal? They didn't film anything in there, and that's where she was.
But they saw her walking through. They showed her walking through the lock and everything with her friends and going under the tunnel, all the stuff.
But there's a pub around the corner that they never filmed in, and she's very famous for performing and being in that one. But also they had what was the Dublin Castle? The Dublin Castle where she first performs.
He did one of her gigs, yeah.
And I know for a fact James has been in that pub because me and him saw. I was going to say Scion. What did Scion become?
Duke's Word, probably, or Echo Tape.
Oh no, maybe. Oh, sorry, it was Scion. So it was Scion. We watched Scion play on the same stage as Amy Winehouse played. I've seen loads of gigs there. It's like a tiny little Irish bar right next door. Well, like 4 doors down from my head office when I used to work in Camden. So
just gonna throw out a Scion Duke's World Echo Tape shout out there. Also, Kev, remember we went to the Boogaloo, the Craze Club.
Yeah, in Highgate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do that. Yeah. That's
and it was like a proper jazz club. No microphones, no nothing. You had to be completely silent in there, or people would get super mad.
I'm surprised you remember the Boogaloo. So that's in Highgate at the bottom of the road where I used to work. And it's famous for the craze, but also it's famous because of why does his name escape me? Shaun of the Dead. Spaced.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg used to drink in that pub, and that is the inspiration for the Winchester in Shaun of the Dead.
Oh shit! Okay, cool.
And bizarrely, he did an interview where the Boogaloo is on Archway Road. At the bottom of Archway Road is another pub called the Winchester that he doesn't go into, but because he's gone past it a million times, the Winchester was in his head, but he always drunk at the Boogaloo. And when he wrote Shaun of the Dead, he wrote about the Boogaloo and changed the name to the Winchester. And then it wasn't until he came back, he went, "Oh, that's why I called it that." How weird.
That was a weird
night,
but it was fun.
The gun is the Winchester as well, so it helps with the actual plot because he needs to use the gun. If it's called the Boogaloo, you're not going to beat the zombies with like a boogie and a loo. I don't know what.
Nice one. All right, should we do one more question then?
One more question.
We've had 2, 4, or 5.
I'll go 5.
This is like some weird like blind date thing. Go on.
What? Oh, this is one it might only be Drew that answers, except she's given me a clue to how I can answer. What is the best foreign movie you've watched lately or ever? She's put in brackets, Anatomy of a Fall is not accepted.
Yeah, anachrophobic.
Parasite. Mine would be Parasite because I was thinking the other day, I actually really regret not putting it in top 5 twists because there was one thing when they talked about it in.
That's great.
Is that the one with Emmanuel Keek in there?
No.
It's Bon Joon-ho. I think it's written and directed by.
Yeah.
But it's it morphs. That's the word I'd use with the twist.
We're going foreign film, yeah, just say.
Yeah, it morphs from different genres. And mate, when it beat Tarantino, that was a game changer in the Oscars. When it was Best Picture, not best foreign film. It was best picture.
Parasite
And
was
when Bon-
amazing. The
Mate, and
language
when
was
Bong Joon-ho was saying his speech, and he was like, Tarantino, I'm a massive fan of yours, like Scorsese, like he was thanking all of these massive high roller directors. But when you see Parasite, you're like, Bong Joon-ho is a fucking genius. And when that film was made, I actually bought the book, and I'll try and look it out somewhere, of the storyboards for Parasite. And it's mind blowing.
I can
Yeah, wow.
throw one out, and it's not by far. Also, quick one. Anyone got any urge for
Deodorant?
Oreo cookies at the moment?
What?
Oreo
Dude,
cookies.
I can't see the big screen. It's
How
small.
can you not? It looks like a giant Oreo cookie in my screen at the moment.
Oh,
He's got your voice thing in front of the mic,
Yeah.
that panel.
Um,
Don't say
it
Matt
just
Gaet's
looked like
face.
you were doing this. You had your armpit
no,
open.
I'm
And it
not
was
going
like,
to
does
comment on the
anyone have
best
any?
foreign film because I can't think of a great foreign film at the moment. But one I have watched recently, which is a brilliant horror, going back to the genre I'm in at the moment, is Rec.
Wreck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
record.
REC.
Is that foreign
Oh,
then?
Never seen it.
It's foreign, yeah. It's REC with a
it's the
red
fireman.
dot after it, is in the record button. Rec.
Is it the fireman
I
one?
think it's Spanish.
It is
Yeah.
Spanish. Yeah, it's where all the
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, that's really
It's a
scary.
found
I've heard.
footage film. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, like Blair Witch kind of genre.
Oh,
Yeah, it's supposed to be really scary.
and that brings up to I'm actually going to echo Parasite because that is probably one of the best
Wait,
films.
no,
It's
sorry.
Anatomy Full, but I'm not allowed to mention that apparently.
Is the Belko Tower foreign or English?
No, that's American, just based in Korea or something.
Okay,
They're
so
all
yeah, I'll go
American
Rec
actors.
because that's a recent decent foreign film I've seen with subtitles.
But
Saying
mentioning
that, the Orphanage is brilliant Spanish film. That's fucking brilliant.
is that Spanish?
Mother is not Mother.
Mama?
Mama. What's the one where
Mama?
she's got the bandages and it's got the two twins?
We discussed that the last episode.
No, we did that last time.
It's
That was
called Mother.
That's
and
foreign,
it's
isn't it?
changed to something else.
No, that's
think it's-
no. You're thinking of The Skin I Live In. It's foreign.
No. I think it's
No.
like Swedish or Nordic or
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it's Normandic or Swedish. That's very good.
Bringing up what you just mentioned a minute ago, like that found footage film, have you seen in the news, movie news this week about the Blair Witch getting redone? Yeah.
Why?
The Orphanage.
So they're going to redo the Blair Witch, but they've gone. The original people have gone and said, "Okay, if you're doing this, we want residuals for it because it's such a unique. It's not a normal film. That is an exceptional game changer of a horror film.
It wasn't the first found footage film. I think Rec was before.
No, it wasn't.
I'm pretty sure Rec was one of the original found footage
2007.
films.
Well, it's not the original. Blair Witch is 99.
Yeah, I think. Oh wait, I'm going to go
It's
with it.
2007. Yeah, I've seen The Orphanage.
The Orphanage.
Yeah,
Have you seen it? The Orphanage.
yeah.
That's
Doesn't
fucking
stick in my
brilliant.
brain that much, to be honest.
What was the original found footage? There's one. I can't think
Cannibal
of it now.
Holocaust and all that sort of stuff.
That's it.
No,
Yeah,
I think
that's
the
the one.
paranormal activity, mate, was similar as well.
Yeah, that was a game changer again. That was a whole different new genre they did. But Blair
Yeah.
Witch is a film that I got on the Andover market from a dodgy guy who gave me dodgy banned VHS video.
But couldn't have looked any worse anyway.
And I watched it and it was so good. But the premise, behind it, where they did all this sort of campaigning and media stuff where they told everyone it was real
Yeah.
prior and
Clever.
media didn't exist, so it really confused people. It made it.
They said it was the best
They're
marketing.
going to redo it, and they've already done 2 sequels that were rubbish. So
Apart from that, yeah, foreign films, I can't think of any that I've been like blown away.
I think there's lots that you probably don't realize that are foreign as well. Like recently,
Itchy the Killer was amazing.
yeah. I suppose if you go down any martial art action, like any sort of film like that, there's a million of them. When you talk about Jackie Chan films, Bruce Lee films, there's loads like that I love.
The Gift.
The Gift's a great film. I didn't know.
And also, what's the one which comes through the telly?
Not The Grudge. The
The
other
Ring.
one. The Ring.
The Ring.
The Ring.
They're all
The
brilliant.
original ones, the Japanese ones, were so much better.
They were crazy.
So good. Before we finish up as well, film I'm going to see this weekend, so might mention next weekend is Challengers. Anyone know that one? The one with Zendaya.
No.
Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence on that. I don't know. It looks all right.
Seen the trailer. Don't know what it's about though.
It looks good. It looks good. It looks good. I'll tell you
It's like
about it next week.
It's like she's manipulating people.
And I've just started watching Fallout. Anyone else watch that?
No, I like the game. I think
Mate,
you two should
Fallout's
both
amazing.
watch Pet tonight.
I'm not watching anything tonight.
I'm gonna have nightmares. I think
Drew,
it was
how
amazing.
far are you into Fallout?
I've seen it all, man. Seen it all.
I'm in episode, just about to start episode 3. James, that's worth. It's free on Prime.
Mate,
It's
I
action
binged that
packed.
I'll give it a go. I think I like the
2
game.
days.
So
I don't know. I've never heard of the game. It's just really mad. It's just batshit. I've just got to the point where I thought I understood what was going on, and then all of a sudden there's like infected zombie people. I'm like, where'd they come from? And they just killed a massive cockroach, which a dog had to eat, which is bigger than
it's
a
very
dog.
much the game. It's chaos.
Yeah, it's
like Borderlands chaos.
It's mad, and I'm enjoying it. And it's quality. That's the thing, because I knew it was computer games, so I thought it might be a bit shit. And when I put it on, within about 2 to 3 minutes, I was like, I can tell money's been spent on this. This is a good quality.
You think how much money spent? They spend more money on video games than they do on movies these days.
Mate, Anything for Her is an amazing French film that the Americans obviously ripped off and redid called The Next 3 Days.
What's the film where Olivia Thingy Banderas, what's he called?
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
You sound like
Have you seen the movie?
Antonio Badass.
Antonio Banderas, his daughter
Antonio
is murdered.
Badass.
Right, his daughter is murdered, so he finds the person that does it and turns him into a woman. He's like a...
We discussed
that's the Skin I
Live In.
That's the one, yeah. That's the Skin I Live In, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, we should wrap it up, but maybe we should do a massive review of Spider-Verse. I enjoyed it. Anyone else?
Absolutely amazing.
Drew, did you like
7 out of 5 star. 7 out of 5 star.
I watched
12 out of 5.
well, that's the same. That's the same ratio.
He's had too many
Your
titles.
maths is terrible.
Oh no, it's less. You've given it less than Drew. Drew gave it 7 out of 5. You've given it 12 out of 10. Did you say?
12 out of 5.
Oh, 12 out of 5. Oh, sorry.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were saying 14 out of 10, and then
Why would I say that?
Anyway, I would give it.
We're creating our own maps.
I think 4.
It's amazing.
I'll give it a 4.5 to 5 out of 5.
Just so racist.
Whoa, what?
I just wanted to see
You're
James's
spiderous.
reaction, like almost
You're
a
so
perfect score,
spiderous.
and he's still offended.
Check this out though. I massively loved what you said in your review of it, where you said, could this have been overhyped? And the fact that obviously you've got people like James and myself saying it's one of the best films ever made.
Yeah.
And saying it's a film, not a cartoon.
I'm very negative about things normally.
Yeah, exactly. But it's such an immersive film. But even the fact that we hyped the hell out of it for about God knows how many episodes,
3 years.
You were still blown away. You were still blown away by it.
It was so action packed, and it changed its style every time it went a different universe.
Yeah.
And went neon at the end, and I thought,
mate, the bit between him and his daughter,
when the paint was dripping,
at
the back.
It was long, but
that bit where you find out, and this is not a spoiler now, when you find out that Miles in the wrong universe, it's like,
oh yeah,
did you see that coming?
No,
that's sick.
You're like,
yeah.
And I also say,
but it ended. And I was like, why is it ended? There's stuff to happen.
Yeah, mate. One of my favorite bits, though, you know, when he meets kind of Oscar Isaac's character, the kind of crazy, like almost like vampire Spider-Man.
Yeah.
When he talks
Miguel.
about, Miguel something. Yeah. When he
Reef
talks
knows
about
his name, Miguel, whatever he's called. He's got the figures for it and everything.
Yeah, I bet he does. When he talks about, there's like a special moment in every Spider-Man's thing, and it's got a special name, and I can't remember the name of it. And he says these moments happen where you have to you have to sacrifice, you have to let people go. And he's like, and then the stakes are so high because his dad's in a lot of trouble or whatever. And then he has to sacrifice so much, basically. And he's saying, when you sacrifice, I can't remember what it is that he's talking about.
This is a great train of thought.
I know it's the train has crashed. The train has crashed, gone off the
main
cliff.
point is that Miles Morales goes, nah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sacrifice anything.
And then he takes them on a massive wild goose chase where he's climbing up some crazy ass rocket, getting chased by every version of
I
Spider-Man.
was impressed. And it did say that I heard somewhere it was meant to be released this year, but now I've just Googled it while we're chatting, and there's no current release
25.
date for the new one. So we don't know.
Son of a bee sting.
Anyway, son of a bee sting.
Miguel O'Hara.
Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, Reef would have known that. He knows all the bloody
I
characters.
love how they've
so
all got their
weird.
own theme. They've all got their own theme tune as well. So when he
But he'll
arrives,
talk to me like, "Oh, this is Miguel O'Hara." It's like, how do you know those names?
so good. And the music, guys, come on. I bought 2 of the tracks.
Spot wasn't in it enough.
Oh, he is his favourite character.
Jason-
And
Jason
going back
Schwartz.
too quickly before we
I
leave,
didn't know there was Jason Schwartzman voicing that.
Reef was on the call to me tonight and said, "Oh, you watched Godzilla 3 with King Ghidorah?" I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "Oh, Rodan was in it." I was like, "Well, who's Rodan?" And he's like Rodan.
Yeah.
And he's like King Ghidorah and all this sort of stuff. It's like, how do you know this stuff? You're like this, Kev. The other day he was drawing, and he drew a Godzilla. I was like, "Is that Godzilla?" He's like, "No, that's Shin Godzilla."
Totally different, man.
He was like Shin Godzilla. I was like, "How?" That's a Japanese version of a thing. He's like Shin Godzilla. He does like a flame thing. I was like, just baffles me. How he has so much knowledge of Godzilla and Japanese movies. It's
Geniuses
crazy.
these days. Absolute geniuses. Imagine.
And they've got Google.
We're quite good at computers.
Yeah, Rodan's his favourite character on Godzilla now. Rodan.
Not a clue
Rodan.
what you're saying. I don't know who that is. Who is it?
Yeah.
We don't know. That's the
It's
point.
like a sort of bat kind of thing, comes out of a volcano.
Cool.
Batman. Rodan. Batman.
But yeah, it's on Shin Godzilla apparently.
You okay, Drew?
Yeah. Why? What
Batman.
are you questioning me?
Batman.
Drew needs to watch loads of Japanese Godzilla films apparently.
I probably do, to be honest. I need to do that.
I should get him on it one day just to like talk nonsense about
That'd be
Godzilla
brilliant.
because the stuff he comes out with.
We'll just put him on the mic and all disappear. And
Brilliant.
20 minutes later, he'll
You
explain
can
it
do the
all.
intro and the outro.
Did I send you the video of him like watching music the other day? When he's watching Godzilla films and like drawing a picture of Godzilla and watching music on the thing.
You sent me one a while back.
I'll send it in the group in a minute.
All right.
I need to send you the crazy Batman chatting to Batman about something. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Right. Let's leave this one. Thank you very much for listening to episode 24. Anyone got anything to add before we clock off?
Big love to the people listening. If you are listening.
Where is Emmanuel Bonamy?
Where's Emmanuel Bonamy? And come back for episode 25 when we'll have answers and we'll have a special guest. See you next time.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for listening to Your Movie Podcast.